Well, let's take you through some of the dailies here today. We'll start with New Telegraph. Senate to probe Buhari, others over 30 trillion naira ways and means. Remember that famous word that made the rounds? It's not going to headlines again today for a while, probably. You never know. Look at the writers. Claims reckless spending caused nation's current woes as commotion characterizes debate. Desperate politicians sabotaging economy, ascribed to Shettima, that's the vice president. And above this one, you get to see fuel scarcity looms as importation drops by 57%. Available product the last 3 weeks. Pump price hits 700 naira. I know NNPC would always tell you that they dispelled the rumor, actually, of this scarcity across the country, saying that, well, we'll come to this. You know what the phrase is usually. And then price control. FG threatens to open borders for cement importation. The Minister for Works did say that much. Probably will get you to listen to that soon, but this is New Telegraph at the moment.
Blueprint is speaking about the same language as the New Telegraph this morning. The Blueprint newspaper says, Senate to probe Buhari, others over 30 trillion naira ways and means. Is that really what is going to happen here? Is it the former president has been probed, or the activities of the CBN? I don't know, but you know, you want to check the details on the front page. It continues on the inside page. So look at the writers. Alleged facility recklessly spent, cause of food security crisis. Losers in 2023 elections behind nation's economic woes. That's from the vice president. Well, the president has said, I know all the problem is, don't pity me. So, dear Mr. Vice President, is it okay to say fall in line? I don't know. Look at the story right under that one. Will unlock trillions in public wealth to boost economy. That's ascribed to the president. Now I hear Nigerians saying we can't wait. But look at the writers, a little troubling. FG to release 60,000 metric tons of grains. Customs plans distribution of confiscated food items. I thought someone came out and said the federal government does not have anything in their silos. And now the federal government is saying they're going to release 60,000 metric tons of grains. Is there anything anyone wants to tell us about the claims of that fellow who made that comment? Find the details on the front page. It continues on the inside pages. Cement manufacturers using unstable forex to inflict hardship on Nigerians, ascribed to the FG. And right above the nameplate, CBN teams up with NSA to hunt down foreign exchange speculators. I hear someone saying, again? That story is on page 20. That's the Blueprint newspaper today.
Also, take a look at the Guardian newspaper. Confusion as Naira crisis defies interventions, fuels inflation. That's a big lead on the front page of the Guardian here today. Falana insists on price control as Shettima blames saboteurs for food crisis. You also get to see, you know, that rain that happened yesterday. Now NEMA says 151 houses affected by downpour in Lagos. What a figure that is.
It's not a very pleasant story on the front page of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Rather troubling, wouldn't you say? Despite FG's clampdown, that's the lead story of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Dollar hits 1,900, pound 2,250. And look at the riders. BDCs raided, operators arrested, trial and error not solution, according to economists. Partner us to address volatility. Operators tell governments. Which operators are these? Please find out. The story is on page 4. Nasima wants dollar pegged at 850 naira. Okay. Well, there's some infographics on the front page talking about naira devaluation, cash restriction, dollar supply, dollar demand, and all of that. Find the details on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. FG NASPRO, Buhari's 22.7 trillion ways and means loan Details you find on the inside pages of the paper. That's the Daily Trust newspaper today.
Well, Business Day say they've got a big story on the front page here this morning. Quote, no pay, no power hits electricity sector. So you might want to go in and digest it and see how that is going to play out for Business Day. Akwa?
I wasn't there. That was the refrain we heard yesterday at the National Assembly. Almost reminded me of that Shaggy song. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Well, look at what's happening on the front page of Vanguard newspapers this morning. NECA, oil marketers to federal government. Shan Pride, review subsidy removal, flotation of Naira. Lists anti-business policies of government. Worsening employment index. Other causes of nation's economic woes. Peg forex rate at 715 Naira to the dollar. Oil marketers beg Tinubu. Is that still possible today? Big question. Page 5 is where you'll find details right there. I'm sure we'll take a look at other parts of the paper, including Mr. and Mrs. Today is a Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave that for. Okay, and I'm trying to see. There's one more paper we can look at here. That will be leadership newspapers. Leadership newspapers, let's see when it pops up on the screen what it has for us this morning. Looking at it now, Chamberlain.
Yeah, hardship. That's what we're talking about.
Hardship. Presidency blames economic saboteurs for food crisis. That's the lead story you see right there. As customs moves to crash prices with seized items. So seized items are going to be finding their way into the market on the look of things.
Oh.
Is that what we're seeing here?
Oh, dear.
Is that what this suggests? To sell bag of rice for 20,000 Naira. So very soon. But you see, these kinds of things, they don't really work, these kind of interventions, because what you might find is that those who actually have deep pockets might go and purchase this in bulk and then resell. Isn't that what usually happens?
Wow.
Well, that's the lead story on the front page of Leadership. And one more rider, intercept 4 trucks intended for illegal export. So that's the front page of Leadership newspapers. And of course, you see the minister for the FCT there flagging off another road, this time around in Abaji Area Council, just at the border of the FCT with Kogi State. Let's leave it there for Leadership newspapers.
Well, the thing about some of this is what stands out. I mean, you see the vice president speaking a lot, saying forces hell-bent on undermining Nigeria.
Yeah.
For instance, the front page of Tribune says, quotes him copiously on that one. So now, well, anyone can say that in this kind of position. I mean, anyone who's on in government may say this and you think this is beer parlor talk. But if it's coming from a government official, vice president at that, you'll expect that, okay, now you know, you have that information, but you also government, you also have access to a lot of information that the people don't have.
Yeah.
So what people will expect them to then do is, you hunker down, go in, look at your policies. Where are these people? Who are these people trying to, in his words, undermine the country? Can they be charged for economic sabotage? What are people doing? What is government doing about this, since you know what this is? Because we expect that if they know this, then we should expect the next line of action, maybe a series of actions, as it were, to ensure that something is not just done or not just being seen to have been done, but something that has a huge effect to stem the tide in all of this thing that is going on. So we're looking to see what they do moving forward.
Well, I just saw something right now on the front page of an online, let's say, investigative platform, FIJ, and this is somebody who actually decided to smuggle food into Nigeria, using, he was an undercover journalist, and what he had to uncover was quite telling. Sometimes these forces, when we think about them, we think that they are big forces somewhere. No, sometimes they're just insiders who refuse to do the right things. Insiders who will not do the right things, who can do the right things and refuse to do the right. So ask yourself, how are you contributing to this sabotage? I think that's a question that all Nigerians need to ask themselves at this point, Jimmy.
But the crisis in the food, many saw this coming. When they kept on sacking villagers or farmers in Benue, in Taraba, in Niger, in different parts of the country, in Plateau, of course, and then occupy those lands, people knew that this was going to happen. Of course. It's very clear.
You don't need a soothsayer.
We shouldn't act surprised.
You don't.
What have we done to ensure that people get back to the farms? So who are those responsible? So if they can't pull their act together and ensure that people ensure that they get back to the farms, rout the terrorists, wherever they are, then how do you expect food to be available if we can't go back to the farms?
Well, I'm going to read Mr. and Mrs. today for Ayo's benefit. Ayo, it's been a while. Take a look at this. Mrs. is the one speaking this morning. She goes, you were grinning like a schoolboy when she was introduced to you as your PA. She's beautiful and could do no wrong. Now that she's made away with your $4,000, do you expect sympathy from me? Well, I'm looking at Vanguard newspapers, guys. And well, Mr. says, but she's no longer my personal assistant. And Mr. says, well, that's your personal issue. Okay. That's a personal issue. Well, all right. Sometimes you just have to loosen up a bit and just laugh. Even though the situation looking at us right now is not laughing. I mean, when you look at what is happening on the front page of Vanguard newspapers, the story is right there. Shan Pride reviews subsidy removal, flotation of Naira. It does say that we need to start having conversations. Yesterday, Mr. Comrade Esele was saying this is the time for town halls. Those town halls need to happen on the situation of the country, not just, you know, it needs to be deliberate communication with the people at this time.
I'd like to see an action hall too, where these policies are getting the kind of effect they need out there. All right, so those are some of the things we'll talk about when we return in just a moment. Stay on with us.